Welcome, everybody, to the latest episode of Fireflies Forever. I am glad to have you all with us. Thank you so much for coming out, those of you who have come out so far. I know we're a little late. Sorry about the different start tonight, but Jeff is a little under the weather, so we kind of pushed this off to a 6:30 start, and we don't have all that much to talk about, so, we'll probably be able to get this done about a half an hour, maybe a little over or so. But as always, I have, as soon as I can get rid of this little thing that's on the screen here in a second. Well, first, before I do, because I know I'm going to forget, if you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. Also, if you're watching us tonight from anywhere you may be watching, especially YouTube, make sure you hit the like button and hit the notification bell to be notified about when we have future content. Now, the future content part of it is this is going to be it for a little while. We're taking a holiday break. Since there's really no TNA now, they have a best of show this week and a best of show next week. So no TNA, and we're not going to do any between the ropes and stuff. We're going to take a break for the holidays. And so we will return on the 9th, I believe it will be. Now, we may have another one of these before that. We'll have to see. We'll let you know. So just keep watching. We'll keep you posted. We might have another Fireflies Forever prior to that as well, but we'll see. I think the holiday falls on it. Well, no, that's New Year's Eve. That's New Year's Eve. So yeah, we probably won't. Because that's New Year's Eve, and New Year's Day is Wednesday. So nothing Tuesday, nothing Wednesday. Yeah. So then Thursday will be the first time we'll come back. So hopefully we will see you for that. However, we are here to talk all about the goings on in the world of the Wyatt Sicks and everything around them. And of course, as always, I have with me tonight, Chris. Chris is here. Welcome, Chris. How you doing, man?
Doing good. Feeling better now. I was not feeling very good last week.
Yeah, it seems to be going around. I know.
Bad.
Oh, okay. I know Jeff said he was feeling pretty rough last night too. So thankfully, knock on wood, I've been avoiding that. But it's going around. It's getting a lot lately. So, well, I'm glad you're feeling better and glad you're back.
Yep.
And let's see, we've got Diana in the house, clowns here, Jeremy, Deanna, Dylan, Kaylin, John G, Static Marie, James Chadwick, and Dylan, I said before. So yeah, welcome in, everybody. And like I said, just keep posted to our Twitter. I will definitely have the TIGS Awards out at some point before the end of this week. So keep watching for that. Start voting, get out there and vote. Let your voices be heard for our award show, which will be having the second Sunday in January. So the second Sunday in January is when that will be. It is the date I will get for you in a second here. It is the 12th. So January the 12th will be our awards show. So make sure you go out and vote. And like I said, want to see if we can get as many people to vote for it as we can. So it'll be shared on everything. We'll have it out on X. We'll have it out on YouTube and stuff as well for you all to go out there and vote. Alicia, hello, Alicia. How are you? And I think we've got just about everybody. Okay. So as always, we do have some memories from Chris, which we will start out the show with. So Chris, tell us a little bit about what your memory is for this week.
Yeah, I found a cool little video that Jodie took. This was from Christmas 2020. Logan was almost 3 years old, and this was him. The first time that he, was big enough and could talk and stuff to really understand like what happened with this was him discovering Santa left him presents under the tree.
Wow, that's always a great moment to cherish. That's awesome. All right, well, here we go. Here is Chris's video that he just told you all about.
Go turn the tree on.
Okay. Oh, Mama.
Turn the tree on. What's that?
Did Santa leave you presents?
Did Santa leave you presents?
I gotta take it. Too heavy.
Heavy.
You gonna open them?
Can you help? Daddy, can you help?
Why don't you open it?
Here, you want to put it up here and open it? Here, can you rip the paper? Here, look. Can you rip it? Rip it open. There you go. There you go. You get to be destructive.
Paper.
Yeah.
Rip the paper. Keep going.
Little paper.
Yeah. Rip it. There you go.
Rip it. Little paper. Oh. Rip the paper, Daddy. Rip the paper. Do it again.
Ooh. What's in the box?
What's in the box?
Oh. Hey.
Think about this part. Here you go. You gonna pull the tape?
Pull the tape.
I have full tape.
Pull the tape.
That's kind of hard. A pinio.
A panio?
Get it out.
Get out. Get out. Daddy. I can open it.
Let's open your other present first. Go get your other present. Come here, let's put this over here. Go get your other present.
See your other present.
Look.
Is what? You
Look,
open your
there's
other
more
present.
presents.
Oh. Video.
Let's see what this one is.
Open it.
This is cool.
Here, rip this over here.
That says to Logan from Santa.
That.
Toys.
Toys. What kind of toy?
Oh, I rip it.
You rip it.
You rip it.
Oh.
Come here. Finish opening it.
Finish opening it, buddy. Look.
See what's in it. Good job, buddy.
Logan,
Look.
what's that?
What is it?
Look,
Can we open it?
it's blocks.
You get some new blocks?
Can we open
Did
it?
Santa bring you new blocks?
Daddy,
Huh?
can we open
We got to
it?
open your stocking, too.
Yeah. You want to see what's in your stocking?
Daddy, get your stocking down. Look, Logan, what's in your stocking? Come open your stocking.
Santa.
Put back in the wall.
We're going to put it on the wall, but you got to open it. Look.
M&M's.
It's Skittles.
Whoa.
There's some M&M's.
I gotta open it. How do we open it?
Look what else you got. You got M&M's.
Goldfish.
Mickey Goldfish.
Look.
An egg.
Egg.
Can you say thank you, Santa?
Lincoln Santa.
Yeah, Santa brought you all kinds of
Santa
stuff.
brought you all kinds of goodies.
Goodies.
Mm-hmm.
And for cars.
Man, smart kid. He went right for the candy.
Oh yeah. Still love his candy.
Yep. Oh man, that's I'm way too old now to remember a lot of that. But yeah, it's Christmas is an amazing time, especially, it's fun when you're a kid and then when you have the kids. It's just like just a really, really magical time that and all those memories that you have and stuff from whether it be your own children or your brothers and sisters or whoever the case might be. If you have a younger brother or sister and stuff like that, it's an amazing time. I remember my parents tried to keep the secret going for me for the longest time, and it's hard to give it up. It's hard to that once they realize it, but I was such a snoop of a kid. I'd go looking for it because I knew they had gifts around the house, and I'd go looking and I'd see the ones that were marked from Santa, and I'm like, okay. So spoiler, by the way, guys, in case, I'm sorry if I spoiled anything for you.
Yeah, Logan's my last one. I'll see how long I can make it last. He's about to be 7 in January, so one or two more Christmases probably is about it.
Yeah, that's about right. Because once they get to be that age, they're in school and all that kind of stuff. They hear things from all the other kids, and then that's the end of it. So, yeah, that's great, man. Thank you so much for sharing that. Really, really appreciate that. It's always great to hear, and of course, hearing Jodie's voice and stuff like that is awesome as well. So. All right, so I don't believe that we have any artwork this week. Jeff didn't put any in there. So what's that?
I sent some to Jeff.
Did you? Let me take a look. Maybe he did. Maybe I'm just not seeing him. Hold on. Maybe it's in the slides. Let's see here. Artwork showcase. Oh yeah, here we go. Okay, yeah, we did get them. They're in the slides. All right, let me just stick that up there if I can. Let me get this off of here first, and we'll put this on. There we go. So we got an amazing ink, man. I mean,
the detail on the Fiend's face is just crazy.
Good Lord, man. Some of this artwork that you see these tattoo artists do is just phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe, that they can get the detail that they get with that fine little needle that they use to do what they need to do. Wow. That's incredible, man.
You can feel that emotion on the Fiend's face and that just like you used to. Yeah,
absolutely. And then just the lantern, like the handle from the lantern, his thumb and everything like that. Just absolutely amazing work. Amazing work. That's really amazing. That probably took a good while too to do that.
Oh, I bet.
Yeah. My youngest got a sleeve tattoo on her arm, Star Wars thing with a bunch of color, and it took them 8 hours. 8 hours to do. And I'm like, well, it must have cost you a pretty penny. And she's like, yep, but it's worth it. So, but yeah, great stuff. This is saying Jeremy Garcia, and that's from the Firefly Funhouse fan group. So that's amazing artwork. And then we have this. This is from Migs Media #1, the Wrestling Designs. And of course, this is a comic illustration of Uncle Howdy. And it almost seems like, Chris, we talk every week on the show about how we need to see a comic book of this.
Yes, we do.
Man, I mean, you'd probably have a bunch of artists that would volunteer to do some pages for that if they did, like a fan kind of thing. But wow, this is amazing art.
I love just the expression. This reminds me of almost like a Joker Uncle Howdy, just that the smile there,
yeah, for sure. And then the details in the mask are awesome. The mustache and of course and stuff, and the lines underneath the face, and then the hair. There are people, in case people are wondering, I know they didn't come out with any masks yet licensed by WWE, but I'll tell you what, man, go look on Etsy if you guys want a very cool Howdy half mask. Holy, there's like at least 3 or 4 people on Etsy I saw that made amazing ones that you can get. So if anybody is looking for that, I know there are a lot of mask collectors and stuff out there, but there are people who have made Fiend masks in the past that have made Howdy's half mask, and it looks very, very cool.
I'm still shocked that WWE hasn't done that yet.
I am too. I'm wondering if it's like similar to the fact that they have to wait a little bit, kind of like they do with the action figures. They have to have that little period of waiting, like in between. It's like 4 months, 5 months to develop this stuff. So, or else maybe, I don't know. Maybe they're trying to just find somebody better to do it, Chris. Because you remember the lousy Fiend mask we got right off the bat.
Yeah.
So hopefully maybe they'll find somebody a little bit better to do them, and they look a little more authentic instead of just kind of rushing them out and being like that cheap plastic and stuff like that. So let's see, do we have any more? Oh man, look at that.
Yeah.
Dude,
that
that's
really cool that somebody got Brays Tattoo.
I figured someone would end up doing that at some point. But man, that's of course the one on the left is Brays. That's Kyle Scarborough's work. Of course, friend of our channel. He's been on many, many times. Make sure you check him out. He still posts a lot and stuff on Twitter, so check out what he's doing. And yeah, that's pretty awesome work on the left-hand side there. And of course the shadowing and everything like that. And then that's got to be a little bit of a painful tattoo as well, because that's a very sensitive part of your hand. Yeah, and then up the fingers and stuff like that, where it gets a little bony and everything like that. But yeah, man, that's awesome. And then gotta love it's all really in tribute. It's all for the love of Bray and that the people out there and the fans have, keeping his memory alive. And it's really awesome. This is from Alex Hillary, also from the Firefly Funhouse fan group. So thank you for that. All right, and I don't know if we have any music to talk about. Jodie always talked about music and stuff like that. I will say that one of my friends today shared with me a Christmas album called, and you can look this up if you have an iPhone and you have Apple Music. I think it's on Spotify too. Monster Ballads Christmas by various artists on Apple Music. This is amazing. Listen to the Jingle Bells by Skid Row, Happy Christmas, War is Over by Winger, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas by Janie Lane from Warrant, who's passed on. White Christmas by Queensryche, LA Guns with Run Rudolph Run, Rockin' Around the Christmas Tree by Firehouse, Naughty Naughty Christmas by Danger Danger, Blue Christmas by Tom Kiefer of Cinderella, Jingle Bell Rock by Nelson, Silent Night by Faster Pussycat, Santa Claus is Coming to Town by Dawkin, Happy Holiday by Enough's Enough, Winter Wonderland by Stryper, and Christmas Love by Billy Idol. So I'm like, oh my God. That was
great.
Like, gotta listen to that. That is absolutely right up my alley. And yeah, so I mean, it's getting around time where all the Christmas albums come out, people release Christmas stuff, and some of you may like that, some of you may not. And there's some Christmas songs. Do you have a favorite Christmas song, Chris, that you like? I mean, I have two. I liked Hall & Oates' Jingle Bell Rock a lot, and I also liked from a very special Christmas album, Sting did a song called Gabriel's Message, which is absolutely wonderful. And then, of course, a classic that they showed the video for on MTV, David Bowie and Bing Crosby doing The Little Drummer Boy. Amazing. Just absolutely amazing. But do you have any favorites?
Yeah, mine's always been Oh Holy Night.
That's a great one. Yeah, that's absolutely a great song. A lot of those songs they do in the churches and stuff at this time of year and everything, too, are just really, really awesome. I know when I was a kid, we used to do like Christmas chorus plays and things like that and sing like a lot of those songs and stuff. So yeah.
We always do a Christmas candlelight service on Christmas Eve at our church every year.
Yeah, our church does too. They used to do midnight services on Christmas Eve into Christmas Day at my church and stuff. I remember I was too young to go to those, but as I got a little bit older, sometimes I would. So yeah, it's really cool. Very, very cool time of the year. Of course, obviously, if you happen to be religious at all, it's, this is really what the season is about. And sometimes I think people kind of forget about that as part of it. So, Christmas shoes, says Deanna. My favorite, Santa Got Stoned. Nice, James. Christmas Countdown by Frank Kelly, Irish comedian, brilliant. It's on YouTube. Yeah, there's a lot of cool comedy ones. Of course, Santa Got Run Over by a Reindeer, which they, by the way, made a cartoon out of this year.
Really?
Is it? Yeah, it was on. I don't even remember, but I saw it the one night. I'm like, oh God. The Peanuts Christmas cartoon is a classic.
I watch that every year.
Yeah, so good. That's all owned by Apple now. It's on Apple TV. But yeah, it's all just awesome stuff. All right, guys, we're going to move on here, and we're going to get to all the good stuff. We're going to get to the theories and the discussions and all that stuff about what went on, of course, this week. And I will say it wasn't much, but we did get a little bit of something going on here with The Miz. And, of course, the devil himself, as he's calling himself now, Karrion Kross. And, of course, the rest of that faction backstage Miz kind of looks, Chris, like he's done, like he's had enough. He
Mhm.
wants out.
He
But
tried to weasel his way out last night, but Cross is not having that. I love the line that Cross used too when he said that. He said, "When you make a deal with the devil, you don't run out on the devil."
yes, yeah, that was great, man. And
Mhm.
you could tell Miz just wants no more part of this.
Mhm.
And and then Miz is saying it's over, and Cross is like, no, it's not over.
Over when I say it's over.
Yep. And after what he did, of course, to his wife, and what he did to but yeah, so the Miz is in it whether he wants it or not, and
Yep.
that little interaction is leading to the very first time we are getting a singles match from the Wyatt Sicks. It is going to be Dexter Lumis against The Miz on Raw this coming Monday. Now, Raw is taped, so I would tell you, if you want, avoid the spoilers, guys, because there will be spoilers out there. So I would tell you to avoid the spoilers. But for the very first time, we're getting a singles match. Now, the question, Chris, is are we getting a singles match? Because this may very well, like we like to talk about shenanigans, have a bunch of shenanigans. If it goes awry, you might see Cross in the group run down. You might see the Wyatt Sicks run down, and we might just get an all-out war at some point during the match. So I'm kind of doubting, Chris, that it stays one-on-one.
Yeah, very good. I think there's more of a chance that something happens and we don't end up getting much of a match or disqualification or something, and just turns into a big brawl.
Yeah. And I guess really the other story is, and I heard this from some people. Now I didn't really hear about this, but I actually heard it from C's video. Is that Uncle Howdy is kind of missing?
That video they put out, he wasn't in it. So
yeah, it was the first time.
I mean, you go back to last week, he took the pin. He got the eye full of powder and took the pin, and now we haven't seen him since. So it's interesting.
Yeah, I kind of wonder, Chris, is sometimes again we have to look at the things that Bray used to do, right? And sometimes when Bray would kind of morph himself or change himself after a loss, he would do that sometimes, and he would be gone for a little bit before some of these changes. So maybe Howdy is going to change himself a little. Now, I'm not saying he's changing himself into the Fiend. I still don't think that that's going to happen. Maybe somewhere down the road, but I don't think that would happen. But maybe we'll see something, some kind of a change from him, whether it's maybe his appearance a little bit, whether it's, I don't know, something else. But maybe, we're going to see maybe a little bit of a change, or it could be something else, which we'll talk about in a few. But do you think that Howdy may be, changing some things up a little bit?
Yeah, I think that may be a way, with these next few weeks. Obviously, we're not going to get too much with they already pre-taped next week and stuff. And, not going to be too much going on really until the Netflix premiere in January 6th. So maybe that was kind of a way to write him off a little bit. And maybe he comes back on Netflix even scarier or something. Like, we know that they're definitely going to be doing something more with this, I feel like, on Netflix. And it's going back to 3 hours. So I feel like all of this the last few weeks, the last month or so, has just been kind of trying to get us there. We got to get to Netflix to January, and then there's going to be more time for them, more involved, more in-depth stories and stuff. So I feel like we're right on the verge of it.
That's a great point too, because look, you're already seeing some of the wrestlers, like we saw Randy Orton written off TV a little bit. Now we saw Cody getting written off TV, so they're probably just maybe getting a little bit of a vacation, getting a little bit of an extra time off. And it's a good point too about Netflix, because listen, this whole group could change their appearance a little bit for Netflix, make them a little bit more menacing looking, a little bit, not that they're not already, but they can mess around with stuff a little bit, have some maybe blood spatter on some of those masks, have a little, make it a little more, a little more scary and things like that. So that's a great call. They certainly may have.
Look how big a deal they're making out of the Netflix thing. I mean, the two matches that we already know of for that first episode. I mean, this could be one of the biggest episodes of Raw in history.
Biggest episode of Raw.
Massive,
could be like one of the biggest pay-per-views ever if you look at it from that standpoint. I mean, we already have Roman going up against Solo, Seth Rollins against CM Punk. which is, I mean, these are WrestleMania matches.
Yeah, I have a feeling we'll see the Wyatt Sicks in some capacity on that show too. So
yeah, well, Triple H put out a little video today, and I know I just saw it before I came on the show, advertising Raw on Netflix, and Uncle Howdy was one of the people that they showed in that little video. So I wouldn't doubt
Netflix teasers before those two that showed them. So
yeah,
I think they're going to factor in big.
Yeah, I agree. I think so too. And it certainly looks as if the cross thing will continue, at least in through that in some way, shape, or form. But I know, the doubters last week were all saying, of course, we didn't have our show last week because Chris wasn't feeling well, but the doubters were all talking, oh my God, they're buried. The B word came back with a vengeance, and Buried came out.
I believe how many people were like flipping out. I expected that. Like, I didn't think they were going to, I want this feud to keep going. I didn't think they were just going to beat him and it'd be over with. Like,
agreed. Yeah, agreed. Yeah. And Cross even came out and defended that, Chris. Cross even came out with that little promo of his and said, so they're buried, huh? That, like, talking to people that were saying all this stuff. It's ridiculous, man. Yeah, it's ridiculous.
We've all talked before. I know Jodie talked on this show before. Think back to Brays' run, especially with the Fiend and stuff. Like, look how bad it was. When the Fiend never lost, you can't keep that up forever. But then, so what do you do? Like, I think it's good that they've already got a loss out of the way. They've established themselves that they're not supernatural. They're not impervious. They can be beaten. Like, I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the thing, guys, right? Like, Bray, they went the route of where when he was the Fiend, he was a superhero. He was unbeatable. Mm-hmm. They're not doing that with these guys. And so, they can be hurt just like anyone else, and they can be pinned just like anyone else. And the thing is, when you have a group like this, Chris, when you have a faction, honestly, it doesn't even really matter if a faction loses a match. That's why they do factions a lot. Yeah. Because who cares? If one person in a faction gets pinned, it doesn't matter. The faction is still intact. It's still going to keep happening and stuff like that. Wins and losses. Easter Sunday just said wins and losses don't matter to factions, and they don't. I mean, TNA's got a faction in the system. Those guys lose one-on-one matches all the time.
Matches. Yeah, they're still one of the top factions in TNA.
Yep, absolutely. It doesn't really even matter.
So think about it too, that they had to cheat to beat him too. Yes. Like, that's the other thing. They didn't even beat him clean.
Correct. Yep. They used the powder, obviously, to blind him and beat him with it. So, I mean, all that does is that makes it more interesting. It makes it more to the fact that, and then there were, and they were probably the same people that were also complaining that it was too supernatural, to be honest. Yeah. If they were doing that and being supernatural with it all the time, they'd be complaining about that too. Mm-hmm. So it's very silly at this stage in the game to start saying things like that. But yeah, they are definitely not buried, and we have definitely not seen the last of this feud, and it is going to keep continuing here. James Chadwick says, how many matches did Taker lose? No way are they buried. I completely hate that. Yeah, I hate the B word. I hate the B word wrestling. It sucks.
And they did that on purpose. I mean, look, when the Taker would be off TV for 6 months, a year sometimes, and then his return was just spectacular. He'd come back badder than ever.
Yep, 100%. Even when he lost to Brock Lesnar, even when he lost the streak, a lot of people are like, oh, that's it for the Undertaker. Guess what? Yeah, no, it wasn't. He came back too. Casket Comics says, I think starting 1v1 matches is a good idea as well. Looking forward to Lumen. Yeah, I agree.
I definitely think it's a good idea.
Yeah, I think so. Listen, I had said that I want to see Scarlett versus Nikki. I would love to see them break off into a little bit of one-on-ones, Chris.
Yeah. And I love where they're going with this one too. They've already, and Cross even talked about it. They're already bringing up the past between Miz and Loomis.
Yep.
Loomis kidnapped him and tortured him before. So I think that's cool that they're factoring in the old stories, into this too, that they have history.
Yep. 100%. Exactly. Barry Monkey says you can't have a proper story where one side always wins. Yep. No, you can in wrestling. You just can't. Yeah, it bores people. I mean, now I get it. Maybe someone might say, well, what about the bloodline? The bloodline is an exception to the rule. The bloodline doesn't always. And listen, and remember, guys, about the bloodline.
But even then, Roman lost at Mania. Like,
he did lose at Mania, and Chris, he wasn't wrestling a lot. He was only wrestling in major pay-per-views, and that was probably like 4 times a year.
Yeah.
So even if he would be out there, he was only doing 4 matches a year where he would actually wrestle.
Yeah.
So,
and they had this, that I think it was part of the plan anyway. They had this 2-year story of Cody, coming up to finish the story. So by doing that, it just made it that, epic. That was one of the coolest things ever to see Cody finally overcome all that.
Right. Yeah. Easter Sunday says their objective should be to evolve the Miz after he tastes damnation through self-reflection, and each individual member, in my humble opinion. Yeah, okay, I like that. Bray lost matches. It makes the comeback even bigger, 100%. They're absolutely not buried. I agree. Dexter and Cross have passed, even not in WWE. It's been mentioned. Yeah, they absolutely do. Let's see here. We got imagine booking the Wyatt Sicks like Bruce Lee's Game of Death, in which a chosen opponent has to face each one of them. Ooh, that'd be cool.
That would be cool.
That'd be interesting. Now, Chris, we also got, now I don't think we have let me go through the slides here and see what else Jeff has. He's got this. I don't think people here talk enough about the Karrion Kross effect. Every single wrestler.
I saw this on Twitter and sent it to Jeff because I thought it was really interesting.
Okay, yeah, this is cool. This is from at Elite Club 50B, Elite Rockers. Every single wrestler who has stepped up to Kross has slowly but surely lost their sanity and embraced the dark side. This is one of the craziest storylines unfolding right in front of our eyes. Well, this is interesting. Yeah, look at, you got Drew up on top. You've got Shinsuke Nakamura. You've got AJ. Yeah. How much did he change? AJ Styles, of course. Yeah, went very dark afterwards. Who's the next one down there?
Carmelo Hayes.
Carmelo. Yeah, Carmelo. Of course, the Miz, and then the New Day. Yeah. That's
it's this whole devil thing that Karrion Kross is doing. That's it right there, and we didn't even notice it. It's been happening for a while now, beneath the surface, and he's the devil whispering in people's ears and getting them to turn, getting them to turn to embrace their dark side. Like, it's wild.
That's interesting. Kind of, that's what we used to say Bray would do too, right? Was change people and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So. Very interesting, and he does say he calls himself the devil. So it's interesting. You know what, Chris? It's cool because we all know that Bray was fond of Kross. We know that. So I wonder if, like, backstage, obviously, and not part of any storyline, but I wonder if when the Wyatts came back, of course, when Bo came back, I wonder if they all kind of sat down, and maybe Karrion and Bo kind of talked about that, and Karrion's like. Now I know some of this happened obviously beforehand with Drew and stuff like that, but maybe when Karrion kind of may have said, listen, I want to kind of take on this little like devil kind of persona in tribute to Bray as well. I can't see that anybody would have had a problem with that.
Oh yeah, I'm sure it wouldn't surprise me if they had talked about the stuff we're seeing now about this feud between the Final Testament and the Wyatt Sicks. Like, that's cool. I know he always wanted to work with Bray and never really got the chance to. Yep,
absolutely. Let's see. We got a question. Do you think the Fiend can return down the line? I don't know. I definitely. I know a lot of people were saying that maybe somebody else would wear that other costume that they got Jason Baker obviously designed. I think we saw what that was for, and it was done in the game. They did it in the video game. I'm sure that maybe we'll get licensed action figures with that costume as well, stuff like that, and toys. I don't think though that necessarily someone would ever wear that. I think they feel a little weird about doing it because it was Bray's thing. It was his next evolution, the thing he was supposed to evolve into. I don't see any of the Wyatt Sicks doing it. I really don't. I think they're each their own persona. Obviously, Bo is Howdy, and I don't see any of them doing it. And even if there is a 6th member, we'll talk about that 6 thing really quick too, because there was a little 6 thing in the video that C talked about behind the Wyatts. But Chris, what do you think of that question?
So I agree with you on if we were to ever get the Fiend back, I definitely don't think it would be the one that we saw in the documentary because that whole costume was tailor-made specifically for Bray. I mean, it even has a mask on the back of it inspired by his wife.
Yes.
JoJo. So I definitely don't think that anyone would ever want to touch that. That was his thing. If he was going to come back, that was going to be for him. I think that it's possible that we could see the Fiend again, the old Fiend costume come back, only if I think it has to be Bo. Only Bo, I think, could don that, and that's only if Bo himself wanted to do that and thought that that was a good idea, that it was good for the story and everything. That has to solely come from him in my mind, because that was his brother's thing, and he was something he was passionate about and stuff. So I say that's solely Bo's call as to whether that happens again. And I think if it happens again, it needs to be him in it.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it would feel right. Yeah, I don't think it'd feel right for anyone else to do it.
Mm-hmm.
And again, like Chris said, you always have to take people's feelings into consideration. Would it be too hard for Bo to do that?
And it very well may be. So that's why I'm like, if we don't ever see the Fiend again, I'm cool with it, because I understand.
Yeah, agreed. Walter's got a long comment here. I think the electric start from the Wyatt Sicks was so incredible. People feel like it petered out a bit, but we have to understand that the 2 hours only Raw has affected the run big time. And this feud has been so brilliant with Cross. His faction really pushing on bigger than we thought. Bigger things are ahead for the Wyatt Sicks plus Cross and company. Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. Yeah, look, it's the 2 hour Raw, like Chris mentioned earlier, definitely did affect it for sure. They just don't have a lot of time. And with all these huge storylines they got going on now, CM Punk and like we mentioned earlier, Punk and Seth, Drew, and all the stuff that's going on, they don't have time enough to do it. And a lot of people are saying, well, let's keep Raw on Netflix that 2 hours. I don't know. I think they should go back to the 3 because there's just too much stories to tell now, I think.
Oh yeah. I also think too, a lot of it's our own wants and expectations too. I think that they never planned on having them be featured every week on the show or anything. Yeah. Even in spite of the 2 hours, I don't think that was ever going to happen and stuff. So I think they wanted to keep them special and make them more of a feature attraction and stuff. So obviously I do think we'll get more than we have been once we go back to 3 hours on Netflix and stuff. But and like we talked about too, I think this whole time, even from the time they debuted and everything, was them just kind of trying to get through to Netflix. I really have this feeling like they have so much more planned, but they need to wait to Netflix to do it, because it's they want to push more into it, and they really they're going to have more freedom on Netflix.
Yeah, I think so too. I think they can go a little bit further with it. I know Triple H came out and said they're not going to change like that. They're not going to be cursing and all that kind of stuff, and it'd be mature rated again. They're not going to go back to the Attitude Era, but I do think they can push the needle. Especially with a little bit of like stuff like this, with things that are just a little horror themed. I think they can push the needle a little more. I'm not going to tell you they're gonna pretend to gut someone on stage. They're going to blood all over the mat. They can
go a little darker. I think
they can. Yeah, they definitely can. I think so too. And I think you're really going to see this kind of explode once they get to Netflix. You're going to see this, I think, turn it up a notch and stuff. So Cross turning people to the dark side. This is the ideal opportunity for the Good Brothers to come back as the faces. Anderson can turn Gallows and say, use the Force. God. Well, this is from the video. Jeff did manage to get these in, so thank you, Jeff. And of course, you saw this in that little video where he took the mask off of Dexter Lumis, and we heard Dexter Lumis speak in this video for the first time in a good while. Dexter was not a big talker, even when he was just a plain old Dexter Lumis. Never talked much, and we heard him talk at the end of this video, Chris, which was kind of cool and also kind of creepy.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's still weird to hear him talk, because we've barely ever heard it. It's such a weird thing, but yeah, it was there. It was scary. He's an intimidating guy, especially with the things he said there. I would not want to be Miz after the things he said towards Miz.
Yeah, I would agree. And that's why I kind of think that, Cross is probably going to have his eye on this, make sure that Miz is coming out all right. But then again, if Cross is really kind of using Miz here, Cross may very well order them to leave him alone. and let him fight that battle all on his own. And maybe Miz will be looking for help and won't be able to find it this week. So
even he wasn't sure if he was going to be able to handle Dexter or not. So maybe Dexter just destroys him and Cross laughs.
Yeah, kind of lead a lamb to the slaughter. What Cross might be doing here, so we might not see Miz get any help from this. So maybe a rough Christmas for Miz next week. Yeah, you might have a bit of a hard time. So, well, let's finish up with this, and we don't have a slide for it, but there was a number 6 sighting in the back of the Wyatt Sicks promo, and of course this was shown on or no, I'm sorry, was it the Wyatt Sicks or was it the Cross's faction? I'm not sure which, but See Wrestling mentioned it, and of course it all immediately starts going to is the 6th member coming? Is the 6th member coming? And Cross kind of said that, you know, they already said who the 6th member was in reference to that. So I know a lot of people are still going back to, and oh my God, we saw that little symbol on the screen there with a circle with the line drawn through it, and you know, people are saying it's Penta, which would make sense. But then, of course, there are still all those Alexa Bliss fans out there saying it's Alexa Bliss. Oh my gosh. She did say she's coming back before WrestleMania, guys. So I'm sure she probably will. But again, we've said it time and time again, Chris, on this show. And I'll say it again. And Chris, I'm sure probably going to agree with me. Neither of us nor Jeff think that Alexa Bliss is going to be part of this story, at least right off the bat.
Not when she comes back.
Yeah, we really just don't think that.
And
I know
Braun, we just saw got moved to SmackDown, so I don't think he's going to be a part of this either. The Wyatt, I'm pretty sure, are going to stay on Raw. So
yes, yeah. I really, guys, hate to disappoint all you that are Alexa fans. I know you, but look, you could stay positive because she's on her way back, and either way, you're going to get her in the ring again. But I really don't think that at this point she's going to be part of this storyline. I just don't. We have right now with Cross, you have Scarlett in there and stuff like that. So I really don't think she fits. And I don't think she's going to come in. And I've said this before. If she came into the faction the way it is constituted now, what do you guys think would happen with Nikki Cross? Nikki Cross would get pushed to the side a bit, especially where fans are concerned. And I really
do. She has been doing an awesome job.
Correct. She doesn't. And I really don't think that Bo would want that either. For the faction. So
I think the most likely scenario is she comes back as the goddess, you know, just like she was Little Miss Bliss, like she used to be, has a run like that for a while. And then maybe someday down the road, Nikki attacks her. If they ever do want to have them have some kind of a storyline together, Nikki attacks her and they start some kind of a feud where they're down the road after she's been back for a while and doing her thing. I honestly feel that is the most likely scenario that is going to happen with Alexa Bliss.
Yeah, I 100% agree with that. And remember, guys, I know, like we tend to, as wrestling fans, forget about storylines. Like when a wrestler leaves, we were like, okay, everything's changing. Remember, like the last time Alexa was here, Howdy was trying to recruit her, right? But she wanted no part of it. She wasn't like embracing that. So she was kind of running away and stuff like that. So I really don't think that even that faction we had heard that wasn't forming with Eric Young and all those other people that were going to form a faction, I don't think she was planning to be in that. So I really I agree with Chris. I don't think that, at least right now, she fits into the story. And if she does come back, I do kind of think that her and Nikki would end up being foes. I think that Nikki would go after her and they would have like a story against her is what I would think may happen. So
and before she did leave, I feel like, you know, a lot of the stuff she was doing, and a lot of people it got kind of weird and hokey.
A little bit. It did.
That, so
it did with the doll and everything.
Right back to that.
I don't either. Yeah, I don't either. Even remember, guys, the last WrestleMania that we, you know, with Bray and stuff, and even with that whole debacle where she sat in the box and all the she was the some kind of queen with the crown and the blood and the black blood and stuff. And even that was a little weird. So yeah, I really don't think that I see her coming back and joining them. Maybe somewhere down the road, but I really don't think that's going to be the case when she comes back from where she is. So I think that answers a lot of the questions that were out there. A lot of people were talking about the return of Alexa. So I hope we answered some of your questions there. Penta, somebody said that is Penta symbol that he wears. Okay, and maybe that's as easy as that. Maybe it is Penta that's coming.
Pretty sure that's going to be Penta that he's going to be on there, which is going to be cool to see.
Yeah, it really is. Penta's an amazing wrestler. So yeah, for sure, it is going to be awesome. All right, guys. Well, there you go. I know it's a little bit more of an abbreviated episode, but again, we really didn't get too much to talk about on the episode. But yeah, we made a cool episode out of it. Almost got about 40-50 minutes out of this anyway. But yeah, thanks you. Appreciate you all for joining us tonight and obviously giving us the comments and all that kind of stuff and asking the questions. We really appreciate all of you. For those that we had the artwork on here from as well, please remember to keep sending that artwork. If you do indeed have some, or if you see some on the internet that you think are cool, send them to our Gmail account. It's insidersprowrestling@gmail.com, or you can always send them over to our DMs on Twitter. I always watch those, so I can certainly get it from there. If you have any artwork that you would like to share with us in a future episode. And of course, please don't forget and I'm going to pop up the little video here real quick. Please don't forget to like and subscribe and all that good stuff to the channel if you haven't done so already. And of course, like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that, and hit the notification bell to be notified about when we have that future content as well. Just another quick reminder, again, this is going to be our last show for the holiday season. So no TNA on Thursday, because that is just a review of 2024. Same thing with the following week. Is going to be a review of 2024. So no real new matches or anything on there. So we're not going to be doing any TNA for this week or next week. We're also taking off Between the Ropes. So no Between the Ropes this Sunday or the following Sunday. So we will come back for now. The next Tuesday that we would have coming up would be and that's going to be in January, and that is New Year's Eve. So obviously we won't be here for New Year's Eve. That's a celebration with the family and all that kind
January
of stuff.
January 7th, the day after the Netflix premiere, I would imagine.
Yes. Yeah. Oh yeah. That's perfect, actually. Yeah, that's perfect.
Hopefully
so
we get some good Wyatt Sicks stuff on there and we can talk about it on the 7th.
Yeah, I'm sure we probably will. So there you go. So we will return here for Fireflies Forever on the 7th, and then Jeff and I will be back on Thursday the 2nd for the next episode of TNA, and then we'll see if we get it Between the Ropes in there or something like that prior to that. But before that, again, like I just said, one more reminder, please make sure to vote on our awards show. I will get those out sometime before the end of this week. So just watch Twitter and watch YouTube and all that kind of stuff. It's just a poll from SurveyMonkey. Just go in there. Doesn't cost you anything. There's nothing out of you except a little bit of your time. So please make sure and go ahead and vote for all our awards, which we'll be doing the second Sunday in January. So, all right, guys, that's going to do it for us for tonight. Have a great rest of your week in wrestling. Enjoy the wrestling. NXT tonight, go check out Tazzie's stream for that. And of course, AEW, I think on Wednesday is still doing stuff. So check them out if you're a fan. And then have a great holiday, everyone. Please have a great holiday. Have a good Christmas, however it is you choose to celebrate. And also a very happy New Year as well. If we don't see you before then, please, again, this always applies. Stay safe. Be kind to one another always. And hopefully we will see you all on our next episode of Fireflies Forever. So we will talk to you all soon, guys. Take care, everybody, and Merry Christmas to all of you. Have a great one.
Merry Christmas. Happy New Year, everybody.